What's going on, y'all, man? Welcome to another episode of Plug Talk. Got got your co-host here, D Marachi.
Hey, we was discussing what race uses the word mooly. Hey, D. Marachi, how would you feel if somebody called you a mooly, man? You fucking mooly? Like, what would be your response, man?
Yo, I would laugh. I would laugh because when you first said it to me, I'm like, what is a movie? See?
I promise you, man. I heard like some mob dudes use it on some movie. They call somebody a mooly. And I'm like, yo, I'm like, there's no way that dude felt masculine when he said that. You know what I'm saying? But all the other ones knew what he was talking about, so obviously they use mooly too. That's some Italian hood shit. Moolies.
Yeah, that yeah, that was disrespectful, man. Mooly. I'm like, what? What is that, man?
Hey,
See,
I know
because
you. Somebody in Boston to call you that. It's definitely
yeah,
in Boston, bro. Mooly. The term mooly is definitely in Boston, bro.
yo, see that's the thing. I'm glad you said that, man, because you have this perception that it's like the movies, man. Like it's a bunch of Italians running around, and it's just like nah, it's not like that, man. They got the hood part, which is Dorchester, Mattapan, Roxbury. That's the hood part. Everybody else is like white or whatever. So I'm like, someone from a white area is not coming to the inner city and saying that. It's not happening, bro. Yo, it's not happening.
If
Yo,
you
you
cut them
came
off,
up here.
if you cut them off in traffic, they'll roll their window down and call you a mooly. They'll call you a mooly in
Nah,
Boston, bro.
they not where I'm from. They ain't doing that, man. Yo, there was that one time that the whites couldn't come. It like where I live, they couldn't do that.
Man,
We gonna cover it. We
there's
gonna cover
never
it.
a time in Boston white could. They had the Boston Tea Party in Boston, bro.
Certain parts, man.
Man,
Certain
cut it out.
parts.
It was Boston.
Yeah, it was Boston. But like every city, there's a black area or urban area, and then there's a white area.
Boston, y'all gonna have to come through to the Plug Talk 4 and help D. Marachi out. Because word on
Yo,
the street is the toughest motherfucker to ever come out of Boston was Benzino and
hell
Bill
nah.
Burr.
Hell nah, man. Hell nah. And I ain't gonna say nothing bad about Benzino, but hell nah, man. Yo, I know people that protected Benzino, man. Like, he's
Protecting
like
him from what? Loving hip hop?
nah, this is before.
Getting
Nah, this
beaten
is
ass bitch? What they save him from?
this is before all of that, man. We gonna get into it. We definitely gonna get into it. You have a misconception of Boston, just like a lot of people do. They don't think
I've
black
been to
people live
Boston,
here,
man. They
huh?
talk real. I've been to Boston. They talk real greasy to y'all out there. They like on some slick racer shit, right? I went to the sandwich shop. You was on the phone with me.
Hell
And
nah.
yeah,
That wasn't
I
that
ordered I
wasn't
ordered a
Boston.
sandwich made to my liking with the extra cheeses, 2, 3 cheeses and shit. You know, I get it made to my liking. And she like, and you know this sandwich is gonna be like $18. I look at the price like, okay, could your hourly wage not afford that or something? Like, I know what the sandwich gonna be. What's $18 sandwich? Okay. She said that to me like that was too expensive or something, man. Like that's how they talk to you. Like she talks to me, Dimarachi, like a mooly. You get what I'm saying? they
Moodly,
they
man.
talk to y'all out there like moolies, man.
Yeah, man. Audience, he got a perception about Boston that's not true, man. That's only certain parts. And he was outside of Boston. You gotta tell them that. Because you're gonna say that you was in Boston. I was on the phone with you. I did hear that. but you was outside of Boston.
Not by much. If I'm outside of, I'm in your suburbs.
Yeah, but that's outside of Boston, though.
No, listen. See, now you're treating Boston like the West Side Atlanta people treat Atlanta. Like the only part of Atlanta is the West Side. No, every city has a North, East, South, and a West Side. Okay, you can't just say the part where the black people are or where you reside is the city. That's
not even, because there's some parts of Boston, like I told you, there's white parts of Boston, and there's the urban part of Boston. Like every city has it. They got an urban part and they got a white part or a rich
what
part.
What part Benzino from? He look like he could live on either side.
I think he's from I think he's Dorchester. Because he's from Four Corners. That's Dorchester. Yeah,
So
he's Dorchester.
So he ain't from Blue Hill
Ave. Yo, Blue Hill Ave is a strip, man. That's a long street that goes from one side of from Mattapan all the way to, what is it, Roxbury.
I was over by the Roxbury part of Blue Hill Ave.
And I told you, I was like, yo, we could take a ride. And you was like, no, you were too tired.
I rode that motherfucker the next day and it was quiet.
Yo, yeah, everybody's at work.
You can't do both, man. You can't be Blue Hill Avenue and have a job, man. Like, come on, man.
Yo, so this is what we could do. I could come to Dayton, and you could come to Boston.
You don't want to go to Dayton, bro. I don't even want to go to Dayton, bro. For what?
Yo, you only good to do battle rap up there? You don't want to show me?
If you want to go to a battle rap event, okay, Liberace, if I take you to Dayton, and it's not one of the weekends where we got our battle rap or some type of other special event going on, there's absolutely nothing to do in my city, man.
I mean, for a weekend, you could be entertained.
That's why I left about that motherfucker, man. I've been in a bunch of cities where, you know, it's a lot more. Let's just say opportunity going on. You know what I'm saying? You know. Let's get into this Stone Cold Steve Austin fuckery we got for a topic today.
All right, man. So
listen to it.
Yo, before we get into it, yeah, I want y'all to like, comment, subscribe, man. Share the videos as well, too. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We are back. We are definitely back, man. So,
and then we got this thing. Friends. And we can do this live stream every weekend. Is that all right? Is that all right with you? Yo, look, I thought he was a hip-hop historian. You don't even know what song that was from.
Come on, man. We ain't doing that.
See?
You get that man hell. Hey, yo, you give him hell. You want to erase their whole legacy.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. Listen, no offense to the rainbow community, but if you was a DL nigga or you was a flaming hot Cheeto and you tricked us, yeah, I'm sorry, man. I'd rather erase your history. You know, because it's not like Liberace that these people were open to the public and we could meet them and be able to judge what type of character or whatever they have. We couldn't. So if you was just putting on an act the whole time and you fed us hip hop, that's the most disturbing and disgusting thing you could do. You know what I'm saying? Now you gotta go. You got to go. Get them up out of here.
But yo, but see, the thing I would say to that, yo, even if there is some merit to that, he's dead. So he can't even defend himself if he wanted to. He's dead.
If he was alive, you can't defend yourself towards those type of allegations. What are you going to say, man? You did two videos.
He could say it's not true.
You did 2 videos with a transform. He can't say it's not. We already know it's true. We seen the transformer in both videos. She was in 3 major music videos. One of them wasn't Biggs. 2 of them was Biggs, and the other one wasn't Biggs videos. LL Cool J's that remix song. Hype Williams used to date the transformer. That's step 1. Step 2. What defense could you possibly have as Big for the horrifically gay things you said? You wrote these lyrics down. The niggas around you thought that shit was hot, and they let you put that shit on wax. Your producer thought it was hot and let you put that shit on wax. Your CEO thought it was hot and let you put that shit on wax. What explanation can you give for that? It's not like this was a freestyle and they recorded it and then you was like, damn, I was drunk. I don't even remember saying that. No. You had to rehearse this.
What I'll say to that is yeah, he did say some suspect things, but to just label him that, I'm like, nah, man. Nah,
I'm not labeling that. I'm saying, not labeling anything. I'm saying, from what we hear, there's certain big songs I just can't play. And then 2, his discography, bro. His resume isn't even extensive enough to where you can even afford to cut any Biggie songs away. You're really cutting his catalog in half. He's only got 2 albums, bro. So it's kind of like, yeah, that ain't cool to be losing some of your major songs because of the suspect activity you speaking on. So I'm just saying, okay, when you consider that, you consider the homo stuff you're saying, you consider the transformer in the video, like, and then then the fact that he didn't put out a lot of work. It's like, what do you really have to stand on to put this man in the top 5 for real? Like, it's disrespect to people who have put in bodies of work. Unfortunately, you know, Big died very young, but it was people in his age bracket that had way more of a resume than him.
Well,
at that time, you feel me?
I'll say this, like, as far as putting him in top 5, okay, we can make an argument here or there with that. But to not say he's in 10, come on, yo, he has two classic albums, man.
Man, Pac did that in 1 year. DMX did that in 1 year. Like, it's like, to say he has 2, he only did 2. Good, he was 2 for 2. You know who he's compared to? If we were talking about NBA players, he'd be Akeem Olajuwon. Like, you snuck in 2 when Jordan was gone. You snuck in your 2 when Jordan was gone, too. You never put out an album, Jordan being equivalent to Tupac. You never had a classic album when Tupac was on the streets. Both of your albums was when he was locked up. Your second classic came after he was dead.
Yo, and I think that's nonsense, because you were comparing a guy that had when he came out with that album, that was his 3rd album, man.
I don't care what difference is.
He's a movie star.
Look, check this out, bro. That is the growth process or the lack of development in hip hop. DMX came out the motherfucking box smoking hot. 2 classic albums in his first one. It's very similar to Big. And then after that, you don't have a classic album left. You don't have another one from him. X was decent.
DMX was with Def Jam. DMX was with Def Jam and at the boom of the rap industry. So when he comes out with 2 classic albums like that, yo, he's on the hottest label. Or one of them. I'm not gonna say the hottest, but he's on one of the hottest labels at that time, which is Def Jam.
I don't think it gets any bigger than Bad Boy, bro.
Yo, but you're talking about 94 compared to 98. Music rap sales were at a different level when DMX
we're talking about the labels. Yeah, they were still selling physical product music back then, whether they were tapes or CDs. So the units still moved equivocally the same. There was no difference between 1996 and 98. There was no drastic difference in none of that shit.
Yeah, but when DMX did that, right? The last one to do it, to come out with the two albums in 1 year was Pac. And they made a big deal about that. They was like, yo, DMX dropped two successful albums in 1 year. They was raving about that. That was like a rarity.
Biggie didn't do his in 1 year.
That's what I'm saying. DMX dropped it.
He would be equivalent to anybody else who dropped a good first album and then had a great follow-up album. Whether it took 2 years or 3 years to make the second album, he just had a great follow-up album. And like I said, the major competition for him at the time wasn't even developed yet as artists, or they were incarcerated or dead. And even Nas wasn't dropping work like that every year back then. He wasn't. Nas stepped this. I seen Nas put out more music in the last 10 years than he put out in his first 10 years.
But Nas is under his own label now. So
why do you keep saying
it's a lot different?
This label shit does not have nothing to do with the quality of work you put out.
Yes, it does.
No,
it doesn't.
Time,
yes, it does.
Okay, so look at the production on Big's albums, both albums, and look at the production on the Locks. The production was not near as good, but you're not going to sit up here and tell me that lyrical capability, what Styles, Kiss, and Sheik could bring to the table was whack. You could never say that, bro. They brought that skill set to the table, regardless of the production, bro. Nas' production wasn't that good on his first few albums. He still brought that wordplay, that sound to hip hop that makes hip hop what it is today. Tupac's production was never that good. Tupac's best production was with Death Row.
But that's what I'm saying. He came with Death Row when he was a movie star. He was a movie star, and he dropped the album.
See, this is the difference, bro. You're trying to know. Tupac was already a hip hop god when he got to Death Row. We did not care for Tupac's movies. Tupac never really wowed. No, Tupac's best acting job still to this day would be arguably between Poetic Justice and fucking the first movie he did is Bishop,
Juice.
Like, yeah, okay. He's been in movies that did way better numbers than both of those. Above the Rim did way better numbers than both of those, and he was in all three of those movies. So what do we okay, so like I said, Tupac was not a movie star. We wasn't looking at Tupac for his movies, because the only movie, I say once again, that stood out for Tupac was Juice. He was good at everything he did. He didn't suck as an actor. He made all his characters believable, even when he played the police. You know what I'm saying? He made everything believable, but at the same time, Pimp Juice, we didn't look at him as no movie star. This is the nigga that dropped Keep Your Head Up. This was the nigga that dropped Get Around. This was the nigga that dropped Dear Mama. This was the nigga that dropped Brenda's Got a Baby. Bro, he was a hip-hop god, nigga. A hip-hop god, nigga. He wasn't no movie star. His hip-hop was still bigger than his movies. Even when he died, bro.
No way, man.
Fuck out of here. All right, let's get to the topic, bro. We're not going to do this East Coast hate for my nigga Tupac. Nigga, get the fuck out of here.
No way, man. Like, you can't tell me that him being in movies did not propel his albums.
I'm going to tell you how much being in movies back then will propel your albums. You know who was in just as many movies back then as he was? Tretch. Didn't propel no albums for him. If Tretch didn't do a good album, it's not going to sell, nigga. Tretch was in just as many movies back then. Ice-T was in just as many movies back then. Ice-T in one of the biggest hip-hop movies of all time with New Jack City, bro. That didn't propel his albums. I hate when y'all try to do that, because you East Coast niggas, that's a slick way of sending shots at Tupac. Yes, it is. Because there's a bunch of other rappers that were doing Ice Cube was doing movies back then that did not propel his career in rap. Matter of fact, when Ice Cube started doing rap, his record sales started to decline. I mean, when he started doing movies, his record sales started to decline. So stop using this excuse that only Tupac gets because y'all want to do that to try to act like he wasn't as big as a rap star as he was, bro. Like, stop the fucking cat, man. Stop the cat.
Nah, man. Yo, nah, man. Yo, we're not gonna act like that. Yo, Pac being in those movies did not play a role in his.
So
in his
once again, yes, we don't have to act like it because you can't show any physical proof. Like I said, there were other rappers in movies back then, and they played super big.
His first two albums did not
Ice
go
Cube
platinum.
played.
Okay,
Ice Cube played Dope Boy, my nigga. Ice Cube played Dope Boy in primarily one of the biggest motherfucking street movies of all time, Boys in the Hood. Did that have anything to do with his record sales? No, it did not.
No.
It did not. So how come nobody else's acting career propelled their albums, but it did for Tupac?
Yo, because when Tupac dropped his first two albums, they did not go platinum. They did not go platinum.
Do you not? Okay, what years did Tupac drop his first two albums?
Yo, he dropped one of his albums, what, in like 91, 92?
91.
Yeah. And when he dropped, what was it, Me Against the World? He already had, yo, he was already in.
You can't name 5 individual rappers. You could probably name some groups. You can't name 5 individual rappers that had platinum albums in 91. You know what the standard was back then? Going gold, which Tupac did. There was very few niggas going platinum. I can't think of one rapper that went platinum in 91. There was an individual rapper. There were groups that went platinum, like NWA went platinum. Okay? Tribe Called Quest, I think, had a platinum one back then.
Right.
Okay? Naughty by Nature came with theirs shortly after that. Another group went platinum, bro. There was no individual rappers I can think of that were going platinum in 1991.
I agree. And yo, so we gotta apply that same context. There wasn't the many rappers that was coming out with 2 albums in 1 year. Not at that time.
By the time you get to 93, 94, hip hop sales as a whole increased considerably. This is what propelled all the rappers in the rap game. You can go from people like Ghetto Boys, who've been putting out albums, or Scarface since 1988. Look at their record sales from 1988, and look at how they increased going into 93. That's just the way it was if you entered into the rap game in certain pockets of this shit. But because of niggas like Tupac opened the door for a nigga like Big to come in with a platinum album. Because they individually,
I can agree. I can agree to that.
NWA, niggas like Tupac, niggas in them that took this shit to the top tiers and became superstars in hip hop were the reason why when Biggie came in, you could go platinum.
I can agree to that. I can agree to that. But when you say like somebody like a DMX, he comes out with 2 albums in 1 year. Not too many rappers were doing that. And he's doing it at the height.
Trying to change the narrative. We don't. Okay, so what? Like, it's just the fact that he did it and then he didn't do it again. So all this shit for Big dropped 2 classes. That don't mean Big would have ever came with another one if he lived. Because we see it wasn't many rappers that did that.
Right. And yo,
I can't think of one person that got 3 straight classics except for Nas. And like I said, those 3 straight classics came with the King Disease era. 3 straight.
Right. Okay. That's fair. Now DMX, he only had those 2 albums. Yeah, he dropped albums after that, but yo, you got a song here and there. That's a single.
And that's my point. That's the point, DiMarachi. Big only had 2 albums. We don't know what Big. We don't. Okay, listen. You keep trying to make an excuse for Big. You don't give the Pop. Like, Pop died, nigga, at the same age Biggie did. They both died at 25 years old, bro. So they had plenty of work left to do. It's just that Tupac got an early start on him. And you try to always knock Tupac by saying his first 3 albums didn't go platinum.
Yo.
This nigga had Billboard #1 hits on every album he ever put out, bro.
The only reason why I say it compared to Big is when they try to compare Big. You can't compare, and I'll give it to you, Pac. Yo, but like we said, we created a list. Y'all can go back and look at it. Our top 50. We did that. We put Pac number 1. I agree with that. At the same time, if you compare Pac and Big, they're at 2 levels. You're talking about somebody that's in his prime to somebody that's just getting started.
Yo, 25 is your prime no matter what. In life, in sports, in hip hop, they were the same age. It doesn't matter. That's like saying, oh, well, Jay-Z wasn't at his prime because he dropped his first album at 26, 27. Nigga, you were mature as hell. You were older than 90% of the rappers when they dropped their first albums. Nas dropped his first album, 19. Pop dropped his first album, 19. These niggas were getting in the rap game at 19 with little to no life experience as a grown man when they dropped their first works. They were kids. Yo, Jay-Z was a grown fucking man, allegedly already a millionaire. Okay? Those are 2 different levels, bro. You can't just sit up here and try to use these excuses like, oh, well, Big wasn't in his prime. Big was in hip-hop from 1993 to 1997. He had a 4-year run. Tupac was in the rap game for 5. From 91 to 96, and he was dead. They had the same type of run, bro. With exception of a year. Big just didn't put in that much work because Biggie was too busy stealing his fucking money.
Nah, man, nah.
He was trying to figure out how to get out his contracts. Yeah, nah, man, nah. What, nigga?
Nah.
What, nigga? Yeah, all right.
Big.
Let's get to the subject, man.
Okay.
Like I said, with you East Coast niggas, it's always gonna be this reaching and pulling for Big, but y'all gonna always reach the pull to discredit Tupac's legacy, bro. Like, there's none of these rappers. It's Tupac, then it's the rest of the rap world. Like Herb Gotti said, like, none of you niggas are even close to what he was as a man, as a rapper, and what his legacy is to hip-hop. 5 years, his legacy to hip-hop is bigger than everybody's. Stop playing, bro.
Right. But, but somebody to come out with 2 albums in 1 year, I'm like, then nah. Like, not too many people have done that. I only could think of 2, if you want to be honest. I only could think of Pac and DMX. They're the only ones that did that.
50 did it too.
50?
His second one just what did it didn't sell like Get Rich or Die Trying. Yeah, it did. He came with the Massacre.
He came out with it. He came out with it in 03. The Get Rich or Die Trying. He came out the Massacre either 04 or 05. Like,
it was 04.
Yeah.
It was 04. It was in the same FICO year, meaning within a 12-month time period.
Nah,
it just wasn't the same. It just wasn't the same New Year, bro. Yes, it was, bro. Like when DMX and Tupac dropped their albums, they dropped their albums in the first quarter, and then they came with one in the fourth. Tupac did his second one in the third, Machiavelli. He dropped that shit in September. Well, they dropped it in September, right after he died, which is crazy. So, and they did it less than 2 weeks after he died. So they dropped it in the third quarter, probably early. If Tupac wouldn't have died, that shit probably wouldn't have came out to November. It probably wouldn't have came out to November because he would have took some of the shit out he said about Nas. He probably would have cleaned some shit up because they had squashed their shit right before he went to Vegas. So that album probably wouldn't have came out to November-ish. It still would have been the same cycle year.
So just to clarify, 50 Cent's album came out February 6, 2003. The Massacre came out March 3rd, 2005.
Okay, so that was 2 years later.
Yeah, like
Okay.
Yeah. So
okay, so what about Volume 3, Sean Carter, and Blueprint? How far away were those 2?
Okay, hold on. We'll look it up.
Because that beef with him and Nas sparked off, which is why I think he dropped Blueprint so quick.
So you said volume 3?
Yes, Life and Times of Sean Carter
Okay.
and Blueprint.
So 99 came out in December 28th, 1999. That's the volume 3 Life of the Sean Carter. And then Blueprint 1 came out in 2001. That's a 2 year
2 years.
difference.
2 year
Yeah.
difference. Okay, Lifetime Volume 1 and Hard Knock Life.
Yo, November 4th, 1997, September 29th, 1998.
So that's less than a year.
That's less than a year. But volume one,
One
hold on.
banger.
So volume 1 didn't have the success as Hard Knock, though.
It didn't, but he tried that shit. And he flopped on it.
And
There's
yo,
rappers that have tried that shit before, and it just didn't work for them.
that's what I'm saying.
It hit for DMX. It hit for Pop.
And those are the only two.
Okay. All right. We might as well not even get into the goddamn topic there, man. We might as well
Hold up. Do you want to do it, or you want to keep going? We could keep going.
there's no reason you shouldn't want to keep going.
We could keep going if you want.
Nah. Let's get into the second topic, man. I don't want to discuss this with you. You're too biased, man. I gotta get another a Midwest guy or a down south guy on here. Well, I am a Midwest guy, so I gotta get a West Coast guy on here or either a Southern guy on here. Because like I said, bro, y'all have this in-depth hate of shit that ain't East Coast that nobody else has. Everybody else embraces all the other styles of hip hop. But New York acts like, and you East Coast people, y'all act like for some reason the only real hip hop that really counts is y'all's, bro. And I'll be like, man, what the fuck, man?
Yo, nah, man, nah. Don't let him fool y'all audience. Yo, we just want quality. We want stuff that is good, and we hold them to a standard. The same man that talks about, yo, you gotta take it from me. The same man. He has a standard. How you gonna say you gotta take it from me, but then you don't have no standard? Come on, man.
What you talking about?
What I'm saying is that we're not just gonna accept trash. We ain't doing that. We're not accepting mumble rap. We're not putting that on the Mount Rushmore. You gotta come with talent. Come on, man.
Wouldn't A$AP Rocky a mumble rapper?
Who?
A$AP Rocky.
I didn't hear. Yo, A$AP Rocky. Yo, there's always exceptions to the rule, but I'm like,
was it 6ix9ine one of them niggas?
Yo, but 6ix9ine again. 6ix9ine has been disregarded. Okay,
why?
He's been disregarded. Yo, because
why?
you know his rap, you know his story. He's been disregarded.
Y'all ain't disregard nobody else from New York that snitched. Why he the only one?
You know what I mean? Like
y'all make movies about snitching drug dealers, but y'all want to tell me 6ix9ine can't get his credit for what he did in music because he told, and he wasn't a drug dealer, he wasn't a gangbanger. Like this nigga was really a pedestrian, like really a real serious, just a musician, bro. He wasn't in. They made him. They gave him the information. They fucked up with that.
Yo, but who held 6ix9ine to a high regard? Who?
Hey, I'm just saying he don't seem too much different from a lot of other motherfuckers from the East Coast, man. No, shout out to all the real ones on the East, but like we've seen too many stories of motherfuckers who held to a certain tier. You know what I'm saying? That just because they bodied shit or sold drugs, and they sold a lot of it, they have a legacy in New York. I'm just saying, well, 6ix9ine sold a lot of records. Why doesn't he have a legacy though? Yo, Jay-Z can hang with Desiree Perez. We ain't taking his legacy away.
Yeah, but Jay-Z's body of work, we don't look at 6ix9ine, man. Like, I'll put it to you like this. Yo, you got Gunna and you got Young Thug. You know what I mean? And you the one that told me about them way in the beginning. You got Young Thug, you got Gunna. You know what I mean? They're held in a way higher regard than 6ix9ine.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, but listen, I gotta be honest. Allegedly, there's a lot of rappers in Atlanta that they kind of told shit too. I mean, we know T.I. hit the stand up in Ohio because that shit happened in Cincinnati. So that shit was all over our news because Ohio is just not known. We're known for having a lot of violence, a lot of drug dealing up there, but we're not known for having super high profile cases. Like our biggest high profile case usually aren't celebrities. They're usually just people in the drug game that had made a lot of money, and you heard about them and knew who they was. So when T.I. situation happened and his Uncle Phil got killed up there, that was a super high profile case. It was on every news channel, and they covered it. They showed the clips of him coming to testify in court, and we've seen this shit. So I'm just saying, like, there's been a few people in a lot of spots in hip hop that have gotten away with allegedly snitching. But we don't do nobody like we did 6ix9ine. I haven't seen nobody's, not even Gunna. I haven't seen nobody's career get stopped because they allegedly told.
Yeah. So I'm like, yo, that's not an East Coast thing, man. Yo,
I don't know, y'all kind of. I don't know. Was 6ix9ine like the new version of Pac out there? Because he's the only nigga that's got to get his foot to the fire. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
If we gonna hold the standard to one motherfucker, let's hold it to everybody. And that should bring us perfectly into this next topic because I definitely want to get into that.
Okay. What the okay, this one right there, the guy.
Yeah.
All right, cool. There you go.
This Russian guy just walks over to me, looks me right in my eyes and say, I don't like black people. I looked him back in his eyes and said, why you don't like black people? He took a sip of his vodka, a tug of his sip. He turned his head and blew. He said, man, you guys are the most gifted athletically. You're physically strong, but you're mentally weak. He said, y'all still slaves. You just mentally slave. You're still filling up the prisons. You're still killing each other. They just don't have the chains because dying is better than being a slave. And I grabbed him in his, I don't know, $30,000 suit, and I told him that's exactly how I feel. And I have a tough time showing my kinsmen, other black people, exactly what the you're talking about. But I'm not that guy. I let his shirt go. He looked at me and he said, you're the first I ever met. And he shook my hand. And I actually respect him for coming to me so boldly and so strongly, telling me exactly what he thinks. This Russian guy just...
You gotta work on that Wi-Fi, man. What you think about that?
Yo, man, I thought that was a powerful video, man. And yo, no white person is doing that to a black person in Boston. That's not happening, bro. That's not happening. It's not happening. I guarantee it. I guarantee it that won't happen, man. But this is I think it was spot on what he was talking about as far as like, we're physically strong, but we're not mentally strong. And I think that us as a collective, we don't focus on the mental. We focus on the physical. We highlight athletes and performers and all these other things, but we don't highlight education. We don't We don't want to seek knowledge and all of these other things. So I think that it's spot on, man.
Um, spot on. I agree. Um, we're mentally not strong. I disagree. There's a difference of not being mentally strong and not having unity. I don't think there's a race of men that are mentally stronger than us because they ain't put up with as much shit as us. And we still keep it peaceful with every nationality there is. So I wouldn't say we're mentally not strong. I would just say we don't have any unity. Because if we had unity, then we would highlight the things that are important instead of highlighting athletes and performers. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I get the concept of what the Russian dude said to the black guy. And to second your emotion, you just ain't in the right rooms in Boston. Go somewhere where they feel completely safe and it's a bunch of money in that motherfucker. They will have the balls to say to you whatever the fuck they feel, and they know it ain't too much you can do. Let me give you a prime example. What's the guy's name that played it next Friday? He played Dame. No, was it Damon? Was his name Damon? Came home from jail. Is the guy that used to do the Old Spice commercials? Big swole
Terry
motherfucker.
Crews.
Terry Crews came out and spoke about being at Hollywood parties. This white dude that grabbed his genitals, Terry Crews probably could have mangled him. But he knew if he'd have did something to him, he'd have had a worse consequence than that motherfucker would have took an ass whooping. Because they feel that powerful. Because they run shit, bro. We don't run anything. We have no control. You know, that person that came up and did that to Terry Crews probably got a couple of governors, senators, maybe even a couple of police staffs on payroll. You know what I'm saying? So it's a different ball game they play. They're damn sure say it to you, though. They say it to you. My thing is this, man. We can't blame nobody but ourselves because no matter how you look at it, no matter what programming they try to program us with, we still make the choice every day to accept that. No matter what is going on in this world, we still make the choice every day to not do good business with each other, not unite with each other, and consider our communities first. These are still things that we, as a culture, choose not to get better at, choose not to develop at, and choose not to put any effort into. I don't think this has anything to do with any other culture, any racist shit we've been through before, slavery, and everybody want to go back in the day. No, right now we have the option. Right now, all of us have the option to say, fuck all this shit we see. Fuck all these celebrities. Fuck TV. Let's use this internet as a resource for us to be able to communicate with each other and figure out what it is we need to do to start moving more as a unit and more as a power structure. We can drop everything and do that shit starting right fucking now. But we won't. We won't.
Yeah, and when Terry Crews came out with that, what did us as a people do? We laughed at him. We made fun of him. We did all of that.
I got it. There's some things you got to. So let me tell you why I don't feel no sympathy for Terry Crews. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Nah, go ahead.
He deserved to get laughed at because that was the point the Russian was making when he said that to the black guy. Yo, if they tried to enslave us, they'd have to kill every one of us. We've seen a lot of actors. We've seen a lot of entertainers, even athletes go to jail for dumb shit. Beating their wives, getting caught with drugs. You know what I'm saying? Or some other type of sexual deviant crimes or something. If it was a time to say, as an entertainer, you should go to jail, that's the time. You never gonna grab my dick and balls and just get away with that. And you damn sure gonna have to kill me before you grab my dick and balls in front of my fucking wife, dog. Ted Cruz went out like the bitch nigga he is. Just like I say, bro, some people are willing to do whatever for a position, for fame, for money. So that ain't the first time Terry Crews was in a fruity situation. I guarantee you it wasn't. Because I don't think anybody who's never been in a fruity situation and is not involved in the fruity world would ever allow that to happen. Your reaction. Could somebody do that to you? What happened?
Nah. They're not doing that to me.
You've never been locked up before, right?
Okay.
No, I said you've never been locked up.
No, I haven't.
You would have went to jail that night for that, huh?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely would have went to jail for that. But now I ask that, like, he knew, or whoever that person was to do that to Terry Crews, he knew to do that, and he knew that there was no recourse for that action. He knew that there was no recourse for that action from him or from his people, which is us in a sense.
What can we do for him? It was done to an individual. I'm gonna tell you this, D. Marachi. I'm not fighting for a person that won't fight for themselves.
Okay.
So if you can't even stand up for now, I guarantee you, he would have got a huge reaction out of all of us if he would have went to jail and the old boy tried to press charges and we found out the whole story. He would have had all our support. You get it?
Yeah, I get it. But now let's play devil's advocate with it. Yo, his livelihood. He got a family. He has everything that he has to take care of. People depend on him. So if he makes that move at that time, all of that could go away. How you feel about that?
Hey, let me tell you something, bro. If he was married to a black woman, he would have lost all of that for not doing anything, bro. So his circumstance, she ain't going nowhere anyway because she understands he's married to a Caucasian. She understands the situation she's in with him. She ain't going nowhere regardless. She could find out that man get penetrated in his butthole for every movie role he gets. She ain't going nowhere. Her lifestyle's too comfortable with him. So, he just, like I said, bro, you're going to lose all of that if you're in our culture and you don't stand up. A man who stands for nothing will fall for anything, bro. He fell for it. You can't defend that. There's no defense for that. There's no, you could jeopardize your career. Fuck your career. Okay, so would you rather have a career or keep going around getting your balls fondled? Or not have that career? If they fondling your balls in your line of work, man, and you ain't into that, you don't need to, how important is that job?
I mean, for me, it's not that important. But I feel like that goes back to the mental. Like, they know what's going on, man. How you doing? Man? They're in the building. What's happening?
What up, dude?
Yeah, man.
They know what, though?
I feel like that's a mental. Like, they know that they can play with you like that, and there's nothing you're gonna do. You or your people.
Like I said, you can't fight for somebody who won't fight for themselves. I guarantee you it'll never happen to Denzel. I guarantee you there's a bunch of black men you could never do that to, or there's going to be a consequence when you do it. I bet you can't do that to Ice Cube. I bet you it's a bunch of people. And if that happened and Ice Cube had to crash out, we're going to all have his back, like I said. But nobody had his back. So you keep saying it's mental. It's not mental. He didn't stand for anything. He didn't stand for nothing. He got violated and did what a bitch should do. Come and try to get sympathy for it. Nigga, as big as you is, all them muscles, you think somebody gonna feel sorry for you?
I agree with you, but do you think it happened in the Ice Cube that we will all have his back?
If a
I don't think
producer
so.
comes and grabs Ice Cube shit in front of his wife, and Ice Cube knocked this nigga out and stomp him out at that party and gets arrested for assault, we're all gonna have his back. Yeah, listen, not just black people, but regular men, heterosexual men themselves will all be able to say, hey man, there's no way you gonna play me. Just because of the fact you did it in front of my wife is grounds to murder. That's not regular ass whooping shit. If you ask me, that's not regular. So just because of the fact they know that the most that's gonna happen in that is an ass whooping, that's the minimum you should give them. That's the mentality we need to have, though, instead of vice versa, where we're more worried about our careers. That's the mental slavery itself, when you're more worried about your career and some money and what they can take away from your ass. Man, fuck all that shit, man. Stand for something.
But now I'll say this. Let's look at it on a smaller level. Look at how many people they work at their jobs and the stuff that they go through. They go to a 9 to 5 and they put up with so much stuff from their employers, and they ain't leaving their job.
You're moving the goalposts. Are they getting their balls and dick grabbed? Are they getting sexually harassed at their job? And are they getting violated in front of their wives at their job? No. So you can't keep moving the goalposts, DeMarati.
Well, he didn't get violated.
I know you. Yes, he did.
He got violated in front of his wife?
Why do you think I keep saying that, bro?
Okay, all right, fair. Go ahead.
I've said it 50 times. Like, it wasn't like this just happened in some private room. It happened at a party they were at, a mansion party, and he did it in front of his wife.
Yeah, fair. You're right.
That's murder level. I would kill somebody for trying me in front of my wife or disrespecting my wife. Not no girlfriend, not a jump off. My wife, bro? Are you fucking kidding me? And like I said, that's it. So, you know how you prevent those things from happening in the future? Somebody has to lay the groundwork for an example. That's the mentality we should have. Like the Russian man said, just going right back to his point. He said, you know why they'll never enslave us? He said, because you will have to kill every last one of us.
Right. Okay.
That's standing for something.
Right.
We don't stand for nothing.
But somebody like Ice Cube came up with a proposal, you know what I mean, to talk to Trump, just to have a conversation with him, to see what he was gonna do. And the people didn't stand with him. Men and women. He
didn't just do it for Trump. He did it for both parties. What you gotta make sure you make clear about that is the Democrats weren't even willing to sit down and talk to him. Trump did. So this wasn't a proposal to Trump. This was a proposal to both parties saying that you can't just get our black vote anymore. You're going to have to give us some incentives in order to get our vote. And we didn't get behind that.
Right.
And guess why? Guess why we didn't get behind that?
Why didn't we get behind it?
Because goofy coon bitches like the Queens of Cocktails wanted to put a spin on it. They wanted to put a spin on it like you're just doing, oh, well, you sat down with Trump. You're like, yeah, I got a proposal. I'm going to sit down with the Republicans. I'm trying to sit down with the Democrats. Whoever's running for office. That went over their heads. So you had black people that were controlling the narrative of what Ice Cube is doing, and I don't think a lot of people understood what was really going on. And then it didn't get a lot of traction. You see how quickly that shit got swept under the rug. So I'll say it once again, like Ice Cube had to literally go to, in order to make this public, he had to go to places like that. And then when you go to places like that, who are paid syndicates to control certain narratives, and guess what most of us are, Democrats, instead of holding the Democrats accountable for not even sitting down with Ice Cube and considering the proposal, they wanted to crucify Ice Cube for sitting down next to Trump.
Yeah.
What?
And he wasn't saying to vote for Trump or vote against Trump, but just to hear him out. What is he gonna do for us as a people? So if we can't even get united on that type of front, then it's like we
Like I
we can't.
said, lack of information. Our leadership at the time, the biggest platforms were these female platforms. There was no male platform for him to go to at that time. Who are you gonna go to? Joe Budden? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there was no platforms to really go to at that time. This was all pre, this is all like right after the pandemic for real.
Right.
So a lot of these dudes blew up, especially like when you get to like people like Cameron, when you even get to like Drink Champs. Like Drink Champs was not somewhere to really go for him at that moment. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. It's a small group of people that pay attention to that. Yeah, man. So it's like, but we put a lot of energy into killing each other.
Oh,
I,
absolutely, bro.
I,
But listen, I want to make it clear. We can't have it both ways, black people. On one side, we got our women screaming they're independent, how they working jobs and raising kids by themselves. It has been condoned. It has been almost promoted for a woman to be independent and to almost be single mothers. We had a discussion on here, and we had two single mothers on here. And at the end of the day, what did they do? Promote being single mothers and promote dating single mothers. Did they not?
right. Yes. Yes,
So
they did.
if we have a culture of people who are just killing each other, have no sense, who's raising these little niggas?
The mothers are. The mothers are. The mothers are raising them at the end of the day. There's no men. They're trying to X them out of the equation. And it's like to give that boy or that girl any type of standards. Like they can't have that. They have no structure. They have no foundation. They have no leadership, no guidance, no wisdom. They don't have. When you eliminate the man, you're eliminating that.
So when it comes to changing the mentality of our communities, it has to start with the adults. It has to start with the people that have kids, and even if you don't have kids, it has to start with us being able to formulate discussions about the problems, fix the problems, and be willing to hold everybody to a standard of you're going to do this lifestyle now or else.
Right. And we have to focus our energy into other areas. Me and you, we were having a conversation. I think it was last week sometime, and you told me what was the mental age for
Of our culture,
yes,
18.
18.
Yeah, so we're mentally, we're just at the process of we celebrate having your own place, your own car, your own job. Like that's no different than what an 18-year-old can do.
Right. Right. So you're
So
18. You're
yeah,
just
so
getting out of high school.
we're mentally we're not thinking about ownership. We're not thinking about big businesses.
Right.
We're not thinking about a movement and technology wave. We're not thinking as adults yet. I don't care if you're 60, 50, 40. There's still people in the black culture that instill to you go to college and get a job. Why? We're not. That has done nothing for us the last 60 years.
But
How
that
about we start teaching generational wealth? How about we start? How about instead of buying all these Gucci's and asking for these motherfucking Birkin bags and all this shit, why don't y'all start trust funds for your kids when they born? So by the time they 18 and they grew some interest and they got some money to come out here and pursue their dreams for real. Because you got some real creative people at 18, they just have no access to activating their dreams and goals. They don't even know a person to call to help them get started with it. But at least if motherfuckers can increase their funding, at least if our kids don't have to be born into poverty generation after generation after generation, at least we can start building some type of generational wealth and give them a better shot of having a chance to create a business to actually enforce change. Go ahead, Pimp.
But we know where to go if we want to go get liquor. We know where we want to go if it could be anything. If we wanted to get on public assistance, we know where to go.
I mean, that's why I said the mentality is 18. I sent you that clip from J.R. Smith earlier, and J.R. Smith was saying, like, man, during the lockout, George Floyd situation happened. And remember, all of them stopped playing. So they all get back in the back. They back there. They like, man, what we gonna ask the NBA to do? What we gonna tell them? What we gonna say? And J.R. Smith was like, man, quit asking them for anything. We ain't gotta say nothing. Yo, we all multimillionaires, man. Think about all these multimillionaires. I'm talking about. He named several people from L.A. He named DeMar DeRozan, who was on like a $175 million contract. He named Russell Westbrook, who was on like a $225 million contract at the time. He named Paul George, who was on like a $200 million contract at the time. He like, man, he said it's over $500 million in this room right now between us. And we don't even own any gyms. When we come to L.A., we got to go to UCLA to hoop. We don't even own a basketball gym, bro.
Right.
So, but like J.R. Smith said, and he said he did it himself, so he wasn't excluding himself from part of the problem. He said, but it's been plenty of times we done went to the strip club and then threw 60,000, 70,000.
Right. So to go back and I want you to make your point. So why do we feel the need when we get into a situation like that we have to ask for something instead of just
like I said, we're still mentally 18. We're still mentally kids that's still looking up for somebody to give us permission to think bigger than an 18-year-old.
But
if I was 18 and I wanted to go get a loan to start a business, I'm probably gonna have to go to somebody that's gonna be like a guarantor or some type of co-signer in order for me to get something that the average little kid not usually trying to get.
Right. But we're programmed in our communities. Yo, 18, you're grown. We'll kick you out. Well, we can kick you out of the house. You're grown. You can fend for yourself.
That's fine. All we end up doing is getting a job so we can maintain the things that we accumulated, our place, our cars, our bills, and possibly have enough side money to go on some dates and find a woman. And that's, like I said, it's an 18-year-old mentality. Like I said, we don't have any inspirations to own anything. Like, yo, I'm tired of paying for seats at Staples Center. I'm about to figure out how much money it takes and talk to the right people. I'm about to buy this motherfucker. We don't have that type of mentality, bro. We don't have that type of mentality. I'm about to get with some other millionaires I know. We gonna buy this motherfucker. They don't have that mentality. They're too busy. We're too busy fighting a war amongst ourselves. The only people we care about being richer than are people that look just like us. We don't care about being richer than the Asians. We don't care about being richer than the Mexicans. We don't care about being richer than the white folks. We don't care about being richer than nobody, or the Russians, nobody else, bro. We only care about being richer than the next nigga. So I can say, nigga, I could take your bitch.
Right. And come through the hood and stunting a better whip than mine, or stunting a better whip than you. It's all about showing and fronting for each other. And it don't mean
18-year-old mentality, like we still in high school. We're still conducting ourselves like the summer of your senior year.
So your prime, at what age do you say you reach your prime? And I want you to answer it
go ahead.
For man and woman.
physically for men, your physical prime is between the ages of 25 and 30. Physically for women, your physical prime is from the ages of 19 till about 30.
Yep.
Mentally, a woman is in her, let's put it this way, she hits her mental prime at about 25 to about 35. A man hits his mental and financial prime at about 35 to about 45. So it's different both ways. And there's not a lot of value in the mental prime of your women. It's more of a value in the physical prime of the women. That's where the dating world is at odds at right now, because the women don't understand why at 45 their value isn't the same as it is for a 25-year-old. They also have a confusion. Equality has made them want to compete with us so much. They're confused on why their value at 45 isn't the same as a man's at 45.
Right.
And it's because of the financials. Once again, financially, a man is in his prime from 35 to 45. This is the point of his life where he still has enough youth in him, enough education in whatever field he's in, and he also has saved, stacked, and put himself at the highest earning peak of where he's at during those ages. For a woman, you're doing the same thing at 35. You're probably somewhere in your career where you have moved up the ladder and you're making a lot of money, but men don't date you for money. We don't marry for financial security. Women do. We marry for other reasons: fertility, youthfulness, beauty. We don't give a fuck about how much money you got.
Right.
So it's always going to be a difference, because men and women aren't equal. But we both reach our physical primes within a 6 to 7 year gap. Most women have kind of fully developed their women look by the time they're 19. Some of them are late bloomers, so they develop a little bit after that. But by the time they're 25 to 35, they're in their physical primes. Prime.
So do you think when they reach their prime, their mental, and I'm saying for both of them, and again, this is just according to you, they're mentally still at 18.
Yeah. I'm just saying as a whole. I'm not saying as individuals. There's individuals that they get it. They start to realize the bigger picture, especially when it comes to finances. But for the most part, as a group, we're still at 18. Like I said, we're not talking ownership. I'm in the process of moving. So I was on the phone with one of my homeboys as I was walking back to my car. And I was telling them, like, yeah, man, now I'm downtown. I'm going to have to pay for a parking space at a parking garage. It's going to run me $250 a month. And we just got talking like, man, I said, bro, that's a low maintenance. If you own a parking garage, especially in a city like L.A., you know how much money you can make? And I said, bro, and it's low maintenance. All you might have to do is hire somebody to blow that motherfucker and pick up some trash once a month. It's low maintenance. You ain't got to pay for nobody. You used to have to pay for somebody to do the parking stand and lift up the arm so you could go through. Now that's all automated. You don't pay, you got to break that motherfucker. There's cameras at every motherfucking angle. So it runs itself. It runs itself.
Right.
We don't even think about ownership on things like that. We're not thinking like adults. We're not thinking about what's needed out here and how we can get a piece of the pie by owning it, how we can give other opportunities to people by owning these things. We don't think of ownership. We think like an 18-year-old, and as long as I got a job, as long as I can pay my bills, and as long as I have a nice car and a nice little crib, and I'm living check to check every fucking month for my mortgage, we think that's life. And the elders before us didn't teach us nothing different. They told us this was like, go to school, get a job. That's it. And be a slave. So I'm 60.
Right.
Hoping they give me my full retirement and my pension and my 401k and retire and live off that. That's it.
Yeah, and that ain't even enough. Yeah, we're dependent. We always have to ask. These other coaches, they can provide opportunities. We can't provide opportunities for ourselves. Yeah, we
That's why
can't.
I say we got an 18-year-old mentality as a culture. We have not grew up. That's why we have no problem sitting back and saying all these YNs is crazy. They wilding out. They killing each other. But we won't get out here as the grown adults and say nothing about it. We won't do anything to help out the culture at all. We're not doing anything to for that at all.
Right. And just like when things stopped, like when we were in a pandemic, it was like, yo, what do we do now? What do we do now? A couple of months ago, they
Mm-hmm.
stopped the benefits. What do we do
Yep.
now? What do we do now? Instead of saying, yo, this is what we're gonna do now.
The most pitiful thing I be seeing, right? I never see. You know, I live in a
Go ahead, man.
I live in a very diverse city. I got a bunch of people I network with, friends, whatever, from all types of cultures and races, bro. I only be seeing black people posting like, oh man, only $200 for Medicare or Medicaid, and then say, man, fuck Trump. And I'm like, yo, nobody else is complaining about this free government assistance type of bullshit, these minimum assistance type of bullshit, but us. Because we're minimum thinkers. We're minimum wage niggas. Like, we're minimum
Yeah.
wagers, man.
Mm-hmm.
We like 18-year-olds, man. We ain't even made it to our first raise yet in life.
We have it. And it's like we could figure out everything else that's bad for us, but we can't figure out the things that are going to actually be productive for us to
Exactly,
evolve and
exactly,
grow. So
exactly, bro.
so our critically think, like we don't critically think. We don't do it.
The only thinking we're willing to do is I'm willing to outthink you to either take your position from you or get a position higher than you. And that's where the thinking stops. Once I get ahead of all my brothers that look like me, then I don't care anymore. I'm the boss. I
Right.
show them where the gun line is, boss.
Yeah.
I'm in a position where I run you niggas now, so I know about the gun line. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where we still feel like our ceiling, the richest of the richest, the biggest of the biggest, still aim to be the house nigga. They aim to be right up under the white man. That's the boss. That's the slave man. They just want to be right up under a motherfucker. Like I said, our rich motherfuckers don't talk to us about ownership. Talk to us about ownership. Get up out of here, man. We been on here hour 13, man.
All right, man. But what I'll say is this. This is what I'll say in my closing statements. You know, as far as we have to think outside the box and not just things that are going to hurt us or things that are not important.
So when you
Like
say outside the box, what do you mean then?
like figuring things out.
Figuring
Be,
things
be
out like what?
like figuring things that are going to be resourceful and helpful for you in life. Like that's what we have to think about. Like if I'm like, okay, I don't have a job now, how am I gonna get money? Not okay, I gotta depend on this person to help me out with this. I gotta figure it out on my own.
But if the generations before us were practicing ownership, we wouldn't be worried about how and where we could get a job that we could come work in our own communities and literally be giving back. because we know that these things that are owned in our communities are owned by us, so we have a high volume for it, and we know that these things are taking care of the community because that community cares about us. So it's a bunch of failure from our elders. That's why when they be like, man, don't disrespect the elders, I don't really agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with not just disrespecting the elders for no reason. But when it comes to what y'all taught us and what y'all haven't done really nothing since the civil rights movement. And so all the people that came after that, man, y'all didn't continue the movement. The movement didn't have to be out there marching no more. The movement should have been ownership. But it's this one guy that keeps getting a lot of praise. You know who he is. He's the only black man with a holiday.
Here you go.
He got a street in every city in America. And this nigga...
You was near that street. When you was up here, you was near that street.
I'm telling you, I've been on every one of them in every city I've ever been in. I'm telling you, it's in every city, bro. And it's the reason why they plaster this man so where you'll never forget him. And I just want to say this. During this so-called great civil rights movement, the head and the biggest god of this movement was teaching you and preaching to you that he wanted to be equal. He wanted to be able to use the white water fountain, the white bathroom, and go to the white restaurants. Coming from one of the biggest black cities in America and one of the cities with the most ownership in America, this is what he preached to y'all? We haven't had great leaders, and we haven't had leaders in a long time. And without any leadership, how do we expect change? Hell, our women won't even listen to us right now. So, it just shows you how much we're lacking as men at this point and where we are in this world in 2026, bro. Like, our women don't even listen to us.
They don't listen to us because I get they've been tricked. They've been
It's been
tricked.
a few reasons. It's been a few reasons. Bunch of bitter baby mamas who have raised them not to respect men. They've raised women that way. They've raised men that way. That's why men can't. It's funny, right? I was in Walgreens. This was about 7 months ago. And I'm in there kind of early in the morning. There's not many people in there at all. It's maybe like 3 customers. None of them were black except for, and it's two other customers in there, me and another black dude. So we happen to be coming down the same aisle. He's coming this way. I'm going this way. And I said, peace and blessings to him. He turned around. He said, good morning. He said, hold on. What'd you say? I said, peace and blessings, bro. He's like, yeah, man, I appreciate that, man. Peace and blessings to you, too. He's like, man, it's rare, man. He's like, I didn't mean to come off offensive or nothing, but he's like, man, we don't speak to each other no more. And I was just caught off guard when you said something. And in my mind, he was like, I just knew you said some fucked up shit. He's like, I heard you. He said, I knew it. It didn't come from a demeanor being fucked up. He said it didn't come from none of that. He said, but, man, I'm so used to out here where I'm from in California, bro. He's like, I'm so used to walking past niggas, and at the most you just give that little head nod because y'all ain't no drama today. And I'm like, man, that's the problem. You'll never see 2 white men walk down the aisle in a goddamn store anywhere and not acknowledge each other. You won't see them waiting in line at fucking Wendy's and not be talking. You would think they came in that motherfucker together.
Right.
We, on the other hand, we see another black male, and it's almost like we've been conditioned, mostly by single parenthood, to not even speak to this motherfucker. That man telling you don't know that nigga. Why do I gotta know him? Let me get to know him. What do you do, bro?
But see, they say that, but then they'll have a whole life story when they meet each other in a salon, man. They'll do that. and you just want to have a small conversation, just waiting on your food or something. Like, come on, man.
Nah, we know for a fact they're communicating with each other, dog. We know that. That's how feminism spread so much. But we forgot to keep acknowledging ourselves in this process, and we're lacking when it comes to communicating. Black men are probably the worst in this world when it comes. American black men are the worst in this world when it comes to communicating with each other, bro. It's safe to say some people were raised that way, and it's safe to say other people weren't raised that way, but they feel like homeboy felt in Walgreens. It was like, yo, man, it's just not normal no more. You know what I'm saying? So they don't speak just because nobody speaks to them, not because they're not willing to talk to you back, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's two different types of mentalities when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, we just got to be better. We got to be better all the way around the board. But there's definitely some places we can start at right now. We got this big ass internet we use, man. We only want to get on here to do half of these content creators just want to get on here to do reaction videos to some other niggas they see acting clowns. You know what I'm saying? Shit, everybody want to talk about the Anton and Mika shit because we want to clown her for how stupid she look and how stupid he look, right? But at the end of the day, why aren't we using this platform? And I get it. You got to get your views. And if you hustling, you hustling. I get it. We do it too, bro. So, you know what I'm saying? I get the hustle. But at the same time, bro, we're able to talk to anybody at any given time, point blank, anywhere in this country. And we ain't having no real conversations.
Right. Right. And like how me and Plug met, we met on a on a dating app, and it was like, yo, we just came across each other, created conversation, and the rest is history. And again, we don't always agree.
You got to give them the full context, man. So it was a local chick to Demarachi. I can't remember how I met her or whatever, but she's a streamer. I'm in her room. I'm in there cooking this bitch. And Demarachi comes in, but he's not in the box. I'm actually in the screen with her having a verbal conversation. Demarachi's in the comment section. It's a bunch of simp niggas in the comment section just hating on me because I'm cooking this chick with the truth. Demarachi was the one dude like nah, he's spitting facts, man. You know, he's being honest. I think you even came up in the box after that or something too, if I'm not mistaken. But the point being, from that moment on, we've been cool. You know what I'm saying? And one thing I say about that, because Demarachi, me and him got out for there on them apps around the same time, but then I ended up going back on there because I felt like it would benefit growing our platform here. But like I've always told some of the people that be on there that claim they friends, and especially a lot of the females on there, I'm like, if y'all so cool, why haven't y'all did any real networking with each other? Went into businesses together, started a business together. Because that's exactly what me and Demarachi did. It wasn't like, oh yeah, we're going to be buddy-buddy and get on this motherfucker and gossip about some shit and just not give a fuck. You feel me? We actually built something together. So that mentality is what people need to have. That's exactly what we need to have as a culture. That type of mentality. Let's wrap this up and get up out of here, man. Any more final thoughts?
Nah, man. Yo, I'll just say this, just to end it on a lighter note. Yo, the East Coast is not biased towards no other region, man. We just want a standard, and the standard is high. Like, Plug, like you have a high standard. Yo, want that same standard, man. Go ahead, finish it.
He had to end this shit on some bullshit. I'm not even gonna entertain it. Y'all let me know if y'all want me to keep cooking him on this East Coast bias when it comes to this hip hop. But in the meantime, thank y'all for coming. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, comment on this video. It keeps us in the algorithm, and it broadens the viewership for us. Y'all know how this shit goes. You ain't gotta go home. You gotta get the fuck out of here, man. Peace and blessings.